Prashant Kishor is back, though we aren't really sure whether he's back with a bang or not. He's now set up his own political front, the Jan Suraj Manch, a hall full of bright, enthusiastic citizens of Bihar, keeping their mobile flashlights on, an anthem being played in the background. That's vintage PK for you. He loves US politics, but can he really create an American political convention version in Bihar? The story, friends, of Prashant Kishor. PK is a man who looks at himself as being tremendously inspired from the likes of Barack Obama, Mahatma Gandhi. First time I met him was way back in 2012, 2013. He had Narendra Modi, the then Gujarat Chief Minister, literally eating out of his hands. He set up a few meetings for me with Modi then with remarkable ease. It was only to be felt that PK would go on to bigger things in a political environment which was being completely ruled by Modi at that time. But that was not to be. In fact, there is a famous story about him. Post the 2014 BJP victory, PK went up to a senior party functionary, ostensibly to seek clarity about his own role within the BJP. The first cabinet had already been sworn in, and PK wasn't there anywhere. When he said that the month of May had passed by and what lay in store for him subsequently, he was told that the month of May would be followed by the month of June. He retorted, perhaps wryly at that time, what would follow thereafter? And he was simply told that the month of June will be followed by the month of July. PK got the message. His journey with the BJP got over then and there itself. He packed his bags and went straight back to his own home state of Bihar. He went to Nitish Kumar, stitched an alliance with Lalu Yadav of the RJD. At that time, that alliance was considered to be an absolutely impossible ask. Lalu and Nitish were sworn enemies, and so were Nitish and Modi. PK started operating straight from the Chief Minister's residence. Post the victory in 2015, Nitish Babu even went to the extent of declaring PK to be like his own son. So now, as you look at these videos coming out from Patna with Prashant Kishor exhorting everyone, singing Jai Bihar, you ask yourself, can he really make an impact in a polity ridden with caste and local identity factors like no other state in the country? After all, since 2014, Prashant has tried to shop pretty much across the board, across the length and breadth of the country. From making a pitch to the Congress party, asking for a post of working president, where pretty much the entire party he wanted to be reporting to him, to going to KCR in Telangana, to Mamata Banerjee in West Bengal, to Jagan Reddy in the state of Andhra Pradesh. His most recent attempt to talk his own stock up was during the Lok Sabha elections in 2024, where, like most pollsters, he too was way off the mark.
May 2022, you predicted that Congress would be routed in Himachal. It won. In September 2023, yes, you're on record.
But unlike other pollsters, Prashant had converted this psephology into a personal diatribe against the Congress and Rahul Gandhi. So what is he now doing in Bihar?
2 तारीख को प्रशांत किशोर दल नहीं बना रहे हैं। 2 तारीख को बिहार के 1 करोड़ लोग एक साथ आकर अपने बच्चों के बेहतर भविष्य के लिए बिहार में लालू, नीतीश और भाजपा के जो पिछले 30 साल का जो राज रहा है उससे मुक्ति के लिए, अपने बच्चों के पढ़ाई के लिए, उनके रोजगार के लिए, पलायन को रोकने के लिए, एक बेहतर भविष्य के लिए बिहार के लोग मिलकर ये दल बना रहे हैं।
If you look at Bihar's matrix, largely 2 major political axes exist. One is the Kurmi-led alliance of Nitish Kumar with the forward community coming in via the BJP. And the other is the Yadav OBC Muslim combination, much like, say, the Samajwadi Party in UP, which in Bihar is led by the RJD.
डेमोक्रेसी में, लोकतंत्र में ये खूबसूरती है कि सब कोई जो है अपना पक्ष को रख सकते हैं, तो सबका स्वागत है।
There is a third axis, a small one, but still rather relevant one, led by Chirag Paswan, consisting of Dalit Muslim Alliance. In 2005, Lalu Yadav couldn't return to power in Bihar, largely because of Ramvilas Paswan, who had romped home with around 30 seats in the assembly, and he refused to support Lalu Yadav then. There was a second round of elections too, which was won by Nitish and the BJP combination thereafter. Prashant Kishor is hoping that he will be able to nibble away at pretty much all the bases by trying to create an alliance of the youth. So he keeps insisting at every possible public fora that the biggest representation of tickets from his political front will come from the youth of Bihar. But what is the story of Bihar today? Just look at the state's economy, for instance. It has indeed grown faster than the national economy, but it still remains India's poorest state in terms of its per capita income. Its annual growth rate averaging at about 7% during the 2000s to 7.5% in the 2010s all the way up till 2020. In comparison, the national economy grew at 6.3% and 6.8% annually during these time periods respectively. However, if you now do a comparison in terms of per capita income, Bihar remains India's poorest state at about 30% of what an average Indian earns. At less than $800 per capita income, it still remains a low-income economy as per the World Bank threshold. This is due to rather low levels of initial incomes preceding the growth spurt and the high population growth rate, which restricts conversion of higher GDP into the acceleration of per capita income. Even the fertility rate is highest amongst the state at 3 per woman. Look at its population growth. If you compare it in comparison to the rest of the country, it's nearly 50% higher. Then there is the problem of overdependence on agriculture, construction, and non-tradable services, all low productivity sectors, which account for the bulk of the state's GDP and the employment which it ends up generating. Agriculture still constitutes nearly a quarter of Bihar's GDP and half of its employment. Manufacturing in the state of Bihar is accounting for only 6% of its total employment, while construction employs 3 times as many people as manufacturing. Hence, the problem of mass migration out of Bihar. Look at its urbanization rate. Only 12% of Bihar's population is living in urban areas compared to 35% nationally. Despite showing a rising trend in recent years, its gender indicators still remain way below the national average. Only 22% of its women were employed in 2023, the majority as self-employed or as casual workers. Then you take it enrollment in higher education. Again, there too, the gap which exists between the national levels and the state levels is staggering. Its dropout still remains high. Its college density is amongst the lowest across the entire country. The only thing that's kept Bihar going is its political relevance. Look at this tax compliance. The state's tax and non-tax collections are still rather low. Still, at close to 30% of its GDP, public spending in the state of Bihar is still very high in comparison to other states. The latter primarily being financed by the political relevance that the state of Bihar has across multiple central regimes. Low female participation in labor force, low penetration of digital economy still remain big barriers for the state of Bihar. With all these challenges, in a state accounting for almost 10% population of the country, it does indeed provide a massive opportunity to Prashant Kishor. And hence, the comparisons being made for Prashant Kishor with, let's say, an Arvind Kejriwal. Now, Mr. Kejriwal is finding the going tough because he's not managed to settle a relationship with the center. But Prashant, given the fact that he's had a history of good relations with the Prime Minister, good relations with the BJP, while he's stitched an alliance against the BJP, but he's maintained a certain degree of cordiality with the center. If he can continue on that path, then who knows? Maybe Prashant Kishor could indeed be that big X factor that the state of Bihar has been looking for.